23 years after Sir Ridley Scott's Roman epic Gladiator was first released back in 2000 and became a huge success, after 2 decades of speculation, Gladiator 2 is finally happening. Although there has been a lot of talk about Gladiator 2 over the past 20 years, the original movie's ending cut any chance of a franchise in half. Gladiator debuted on the big screen to a triumphant reception many years ago.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
In the heady late spring of 2000 and was hailed as an instant classic upon its release in theaters. Gladiator, who was helmed by Ridley Scott and starred Russell Crowe as Maximus Decimus Meridius, dominated the box office, grossing more than $450 million globally. Even after 20 years, there's still much to enjoy in the historical drama Gladiator. The film, which starred Russell Crowe as Maximus, a Roman general who's sold into slavery and rises through the ranks to become a champion gladiator and avenges father's betrayal, was adored by audiences and critics alike. It received 12 Oscar nominations and won big prizes for Best Picture and Best Actor for Crowe. It's a powerful contemporary masterpiece that has stood the test of time. Gladiator 2 was already being planned in 2001 when Ridley Scott, Russell Crowe, and the original screenwriter John Logan all expressed interest in making a sequel. But no such sequel has appeared in the intervening 20 years. It appears that developing a script and a story is the main challenge, with various angles and approaches going unutilized. Nick Cave even wrote the infamously bad Gladiator 2 script, Chris Killer, which would have brought Maximus into the modern era. Despite a string of setbacks, Gladiator 2 has proven to be more difficult to kill than the Spaniard. According to the most recent information, Scott appears to be continuing to work on the sequel, which, as originally anticipated, will center on an older Lucius while still giving Crowe an important impact. Fans of the original Gladiator film will be thrilled to see that the follow-up is finally getting updates like these, but many will also be curious as to when the public can expect to see the Ridley Scott-helmed epic. While some people may have questioned whether the movie was in development hell, that doesn't appear to be the case, with casting actively moving forward. This is a positive indication that the film will release sooner rather than later. Fans can anticipate Gladiator 2 to move forward as 2023 progresses, with filming expected to begin this May. Although there's no official word on when it will be released, it would make sense for it to happen sometime in the latter half of 2024 or the first half of 2025.
Don't get too comfortable. I may call on you before long.
The first Gladiator was released on May 1, 2000, which marked the beginning of the summer blockbuster season. However, the sequel may be best off with a Christmas release. Scott will undoubtedly want this movie to receive the same amount of attention from critics and audiences as the first movie did, and the Christmas season is the ideal time for a big-budget Oscar contender. The only problem with that holiday 2024 release window is that James Cameron's third installment of his Avatar franchise will also be coming out around that time. Ridley Scott would be the perfect director to pit his blockbuster against one of Cameron's. Before we go any further, we wanted to let you know that it's time for you to smash that like button if you haven't done it already. In the first movie, Russell Crowe played the title character, Maximus, the titular general. Despite Maximus's passing at the end of the film, fans wonder if he'll come back.
Is Rome worth one good man's life? We believed it once.
In 2020, Russell Crowe claimed that he had not been contacted regarding an appearance. However, by the end of 2021, there were rumors that Crowe would be co-producing the sequel and perhaps even star in it, albeit in a series of flashbacks. Crowe may still appear for the benefit of the fans, even though all indications point to Spencer Treat Clark playing the lead. If not, Crowe may still be involved in the film's development in some way. Although Ridley Scott is ideal for Gladiator 2, it would be smart to involve Crowe merely for the sake of comprehending the first movie. Scott even stated last year that he intended to bring Maximus back. He said, "I know how to get him back," but now it appears that Crowe will not be returning.
And it was about bringing him back. It's a good idea. It's on the shelf somewhere at DreamWorks.
And it was recently reported that Paul Mescal has been cast in the starring role in Gladiator 2, in addition to before-mentioned Spencer Treat Clark, who played Lucius, Connie Nielsen, and Djimon Hounsou, Lucilla, and Maximus's ally Juba, respectively. From the original cast are also rumored to make a comeback. Although Scott has made a number of suggestions over the years, he has not yet made clear exactly how he intends to deal with Maximus' demise. Each theory for Maximus' return has pros and cons, and Scott has been notably secretive about which he intends to use, if any, to explain the Gladiator hero's comeback. The franchise abandons the relatively realistic historical melodrama of the original Gladiator in Cave's draft of the Gladiator 2 script in favor of full-on fantasy and mythology. Maximus is not only dead when Cave's draft begins, but he's also in the afterlife and interacting with the gods. However, the concept is less of a typical horror movie possession plot and more of a spiritual rebirth for the same character. But with a new body, Maximus returns to Earth by possessing the body of a fallen soldier. The Roman gods would have patiently kept Crowe's character in Gladiator waiting in the afterlife until the ideal warrior perished in battle, at which point they would kindly allow Maximus to use this crushed soldier's body as a vessel for his spirit. After Maximus found a replacement body in Cave Story, he set out to stop Lucius, the son of his former lover, from killing Christians. Producer of Gladiator, Doug Wick, also had a strategy to revive Crowe's protagonist, and it heavily leaned on the Christian allegory of the character's demise. The plan may have taken a little too much from its religious source material though. In a 2020 interview, Crowe asserted that Wick recommended that Maximus's body be carried by his followers into a stone tomb and honored with oils. However, the hero later returned to find that the stone had been rolled back and the tomb was empty. While Ridley Scott has previously subjected beloved characters to strange fates, such as his original plan for Elizabeth Shaw in Prometheus, bringing Maximus back by recreating Christ's Passion would be a risk that would elicit groans from general audiences and the ear of Christian viewers. Crowe's protagonist in the first Gladiator appears to be an ordinary human and doesn't commune with God, making this miraculous revival a strange and unexpected revelation that might perform even worse than Cave's script. Scott stated that Gladiator 2 was currently being written and that he would be ready to go on the sequel after his Napoleon movie was released, but he didn't mention how the plot would develop. So it's unclear how Ridley Scott will bring back Russell Crowe as Maximus in Gladiator 2, but there's no denying that the Gladiator director has a ton of options at his disposal. But it's expected that Craig's Gladiator 2 will take place more than 20 years after the events of the first movie and will follow a grown-up Lucius as he inherits Maximus's legacy. As the son of Lucilla and the nephew of Commodus, Lucius is already a member of the Roman royal family, and Gladiator 2 may depict him as the new Caesar of Rome who restores the Roman Republic that Maximus and Marcus Aurelius believed in. While the nature of Gladiator 2 and his idolatry of Maximus make it seem likely that Lucius will enter the gladiatorial arena, this doesn't mean that he'll necessarily begin there. Lucius might be more likely to voluntarily enter the Colosseum than Maximus or other gladiators in Roman history in order to experience the glory he once witnessed. And because of this, you need to smash that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. Through such a combat trial, Lucius may finally understand why Maximus was fighting and become determined to honor Maximus's memory by completing his mission. Maximus may have once inspired Lucius, but Gladiator 2 will likely show him developing a newfound respect for the hero of his youth that can only come from the Colosseum. See you in the next video.